There are many people who have gone from zero to millionaires in a matter of months on social media. These individuals have tried it and it has not worked. Many of them have decided that means social media does not work. I would love to be a professional footballer or NBA player or a professional athlete. I just am not talented enough to do it. The people that stood up have not found the way to be good at it yet. We just decide, especially in business world, well, I tried it, it doesn't work. No, you don't work at it. I believe for a long time, as you know, we have to pay for advertising. If you want to buy a billboard or a full page ad in the magazine in your industry, or buy a booth at a conference, or do Google AdWords, you have to pay. I don't know if you've heard, but social media is free. It is free. Of course you can spend money running ads on it, but it is free. 70% of this audience is capable of that outcome. The problem is they have to get good at it. When I look at the slides that I have up here, and I look at all those books that were written, that all they are doing, all of my best-selling books, all they've ever done is talk about what social media is doing now. What worked on social media 6 weeks ago is different than what works now. But I need everybody to hear me on this. It's free. It's free. It's fucking free. Like, do you understand? Think about how many people here are B2B companies that are fully reliant on their sales force and their salespeople and don't like that feeling being at the mercy of their salespeople. How do you get around that? You build brand and let customers come to you. This is an incredibly important moment because I'm gonna explain why. The only thing, is it up there? Yes. The purple book up there is called Day Trading Attention. That is ultimately my thesis. All of my wealth creation, all of my success, all of my professional happiness is grounded in that thesis. I day trade attention. If I had the honor of being at this conference in 2000, I would be talking to you today about Google AdWords and email marketing. Because in April 2000, that was the underpriced attention. That's where people were, but not everybody figured it out. How many people here are absolutely annihilating it on LinkedIn and getting unlimited amounts of growth in their business because of it? Raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 1,000 in a room that has 70% B2B companies. That is the opportunity. That. And so what we're living through right this minute is one of the great opportunities in business history for B2B and B2C. TikTok is insanity. You wanna know why people are addicted to it? B2C people, one more time, you sell to consumers. I mean, as passionate as I just was for the B2B crowd, because LinkedIn is a movie right now. It is remarkable. LinkedIn is acting like Facebook 2012 right now. There's a ton of attention on it, and there's few people actually crushing at it. But for the B2C people in here, TikTok is insanity. One post. LinkedIn, you need multiple posts over time and you build momentum, as you guys know, momentum, right? You could have a post that leads to, what's great about B2B is one new client can make the whole thing worth it. But LinkedIn is more like proper working out, like discipline, eating right. TikTok is steroids. For the B2C crowd in here, the insanity that is TikTok is insane. One post, one. I've watched countless t-shirt companies, fucking vitamin drinks, like supplements, deodorants, sneakers, like you name it. I have seen unlimited businesses in the last year have one single post double, triple, and quadruple their business. This is a game of volume. This is a game of test and learn. This is a game of not being discouraged when 93 posts in a row do nothing. This is a game of listening to the comments. This is a game of understanding. I'm gonna give you, I don't think it's up here, nope. I'm gonna give you a URL. I put out Day Trading Attention, my book that talks about this in detail, is 20 pounds, whatever it is. I don't even need you to buy it. I'm so desperate for people to do this. I put out a 44-page deck for free on the internet. And by the way, actual free. When you go to it, good news. There's no like, it's free, but then you give me your number and I only show you 4 slides and then I want 800 bucks. It's fully free. Pure brand, pure karma. It's GaryVee.com/attention. I'm gonna talk about this at nausea for the rest of my talk in the Q&A and from your questions, but I can't go into the level of detail that I went into in that deck. I need a dozen people to leave this conference today and realize whatever you think you do for a living is actually secondary. The primary thing you do for a living is make content for social networks. Marketing is offense. Everything else is defense. Even sales. Because sales, you become vulnerable to who's driving the sales, unless it's you. This is a profound moment in business history, and it will go away. Within the next decade, we will walk away from the mobile device, because I don't know if you know this, but the big tech companies are gonna get us into robot form. The glasses are coming. I'm sure you've heard about this AI thing. I can save you time because I've predicted a lot of things right. The robots will kill your children. But until then, we can use these things to grow our businesses. My friends, it's a really important time and the opportunity is substantial. I'm gonna take a hard pivot away from where I'm at right now on content on the internet, but I'm gonna put one last cherry on it. To recap, when I think about businesses that I'm trying to help grow, I'm an investor in, I'm on the board of, that are call it between 1 and 10 million, that I'm trying to push to 50 million. And I've done that now 3 times in my own life personally, and obviously I've been involved in a lot of companies that do that as well. When I think about that, I think about what I've spent the first 20 minutes on. That I know whoever is best at the current moment in marketing and understands how to outflank everyone, grow exponentially. We're clearly beating that horse right now in a real significant way. There is a second part that actually gets you there. And so I'm gonna ask you some questions. By show of hands, and again, vulnerability and truth really matter in this environment. By show of hands, how many people have a real strong number 2 that is not a family member? Raise your hands. Raise it high. A real strong number 2 in their company. Great. By the people that just raised their hand, how many people really are caught because then they have to go back in if that number 2 leaves tomorrow? Raise your hands. Be honest, raise them. So about half of the crew, clearly for the other half, they go into their brain as they say, well, I have a number 3 or a number 4. For the 100 people that just raised their hand, the quickest way to build a big business is to have a number 3, a number 4, and a number 5. This is a very important point. This is clearly why most businesses stay at 1 to 2 million in revenue and never grow. The number 1, which is you, is trying to take money out of the business more so than investing it into more people, or is not doing the thing I want to talk to you about next to actually build it, which is the following. The reason I took my dad's liquor store from 3 to 65 million in 5 years, and the reason I took VaynerMedia from 0 to 100 million in the first 5 years was because over 50% of my time in the first 5 years of my company were spent with my employees, not my customers. When I think about why did I come here and what am I trying to accomplish and what am I trying to help with to this audience, I think about what can they leave with tomorrow? And I want to pound 2 things. 1, is the organic social media that you don't have to pay for, and we're talking about that. And two is if you go home next Monday, when you look at your calendar, when she was talking about how she's trying to strive to get to the next promotion in my company, and I looked her in the face over Zoom and said, I have a different idea. I think it's time that you quit and start your own company, and I'll be your first customer. The second you realize the biggest misnomer in business, which is nice guys do not finish last. It is not a dog-eat-dog world. When you start realizing karma is actually the most practical strategy in business, when you actually go there, not with what's happening right now, as I'm talking right now, there's many that are hearing it are being cynical and thinking that's cute, that's a nice ideology. No, actually. When you actually understand that truth, you build a much bigger business. I've watched time and time again, including my own father, people be selfish for what they want, which completely limits where it can go. And I'm gonna say something else, and I'm sure this is not lost on a lot of you. The world's changing. You know how we love to make fun of Gen Z, right? They're lazy, they're so entitled, all that. Plenty are, but many of them just have options. Instead of working for you for $50,000 a year, they can make $100,000 a year just being on TikTok, making videos about Jell-O. The world's changing. We are actually going to a very interesting place that it requires businesses to compete for talent. We are not going to be able to afford to compete just with money. We are going to be required to bring more humanity to the table. You understand? Got it? You can clap on that one, sir. Yeah. I believe that if you leave here and start next week with the ability to separate the things you do in the middle that matter less, and you focus on two core principles. One, there's a lot of people here that have under 10 employees. This is a piece of cake. If you have under 20 employees, when I was 0 to 150 employees with all those companies, it was every week. It was every 2 weeks. Build that bond. Get it tight. Too many people think that running a business is better when you run it with fear. It's better when you love it with love. Fear works in the short term. We better hit these numbers or I'm gonna fire you. Works in the short term. But in the long term, it is optimism, hope, and actual care. Get to know them. Let me tell you what comes along when you build a culture like this. Everybody tells you things. You start actually knowing what's going on. They start working harder. They feel committed. It's a big deal. Marketing. B2C companies, one more time, by show of hands. I don't care what you think about TikTok, like China this or politics that. Everybody who's B2C who raised their hands, 3 TikToks a day, 2 Instagram posts a day, 2 Facebook posts a day, 2 YouTube short posts a day. I'm talking 10 pieces of content a day. A day. Not once every 2 weeks, and you want your Instagram grid to look good. Nobody gives a shit about your grid. Your individual pieces of content find its audience now. You could have no followers. Good news, when I was doing this for the last 15 years, in 2006, 7, 8, 9, I was trying to get everybody on Facebook and Twitter, and that was great, and everybody who listened, it was really great. And then we got into 11, 12, 13, and that was like it started to become more real. But the people in 2012, 13 in a meeting like this kind of felt bad that they hadn't started in 2006, 7, and 8. They felt behind. Oh, my competitor has 10,000 followers. I have none. They were crippled. Then 14, 15 came. We had Vine, Snapchat. You tried for a few minutes and you stopped. You never got going. A 0. And literally, it doesn't mean anything anymore. I have worked my face off for 15 years to amass 55 million followers, and now it's been a complete commoditized game because you loser, have never posted once, and if you make a good piece of content tomorrow, your piece of content is gonna get more views than mine. That is a level of meritocracy and opportunity that should inspire every person in this room. Number two, you need to look yourself in the mirror, and I will tell you I can say this with confidence. All of you know that you can do way more for your employees. Way more. You get those two things down, like really down, and you will see substantial, consistent growth in your business. Let me tell you a couple things about content. Here's a huge one for all of you as you're thinking about, because I know what you're thinking. Let's say you're one of the dozen people in here right now that are kind of inspired by this. You're like, this makes some sense. I'm ready to go. If you're sitting here and you're listening, but you're also thinking, the next thing you're thinking is like, how the hell am I gonna make that much content? Like, what am I even gonna talk about? Let me give you a couple insights. One of my favorite things about social media is you can make content that asks your customers and prospective customers questions, and they will tell you the answer. The number one reason I love social media is for the consumer insights. The more you know about what the person you're trying to sell something to is thinking, the more likely you can sell them. One of the things that all of you, even if you're how many people feel like they're actually solid? And actually, here's a good question. How many people feel like social media is helping their business? Raise their hands. Great, a lot. For all of you, the one thing you can add to your game definitely is realizing if you're thoughtful about how you make content, you can ask your customers every question. What more do you want from us? What flavor do you want? What information do you want? Like literally asking the questions in your content. The other thing you need to think about, and this is gonna be hard for some people that are just starting their journey, one of the keys in the content you make is you can't be selling in every piece of content. Whoever provides the most value for free wins. In social, whoever provides the most value for free wins. So think of yourself more as a provider of value to the customer you're looking for than being the seller of your stuff. Because remember, if you're providing value, if your bio has your website on it and what you're trying to sell, they will find you. They will convert. Finally, because I'm ready for the Q&A, Brad, I'll be here and I'm ready, I'll wrap up right now, but I wanna leave with this because it's in the air. AI. I talked about it already. Robots kill you, yes. In fact, I'm gonna drop a bomb on you because I like predicting a little bit with the future. This is facts. I believe there are many people in this room that children or grandchildren, let me think here, let me look around. Yep. Many people in this room how many people in this room have a child in their life, whether it's theirs or you're the grandparent of a child that is under 5 years old? Raise your hand. Raise it high. Beautiful, let's clap it up for that, that's the best. Now here comes the fun part. 15% of the hands that just went up, that child is going to marry a fake person. I'm saying this mainly because I'm looking forward to getting an email from you in 20 years, like I get every day from others from things I said 20 years ago, that is titled, "How the fuck did you know?" Let me prove to you how I know. Who's over 45 in this room?